Welcome, Charlotte, from Charlotte's Home Kitchen. We're so excited to have you today. Just tell us a little bit about yourself and, a little bit about what you do.
Thank you so much for having me on. I started Charlotte's Home Kitchen in the pandemic. I always loved to cook. My granny always baked with us when we were little, and we always had a small garden that we grew our own fruits and vegetables. But then in the pandemic, my husband really went to town and planted a lot, and so I didn't know what to do with all of this zucchini and squash and everything that we had. So I started baking with it. And I've always been really interested in good food. So I tried like different recipes, and my friend was like, "You should really sell these. They're so delicious." And I was like, "No one's going to want to buy cake." And then I met Joe at the Piermont Farmers Market, and he was like, "No, we really need to get you here." So he helped me get my license and get my insurance and everything. And Piermont was the first farmers market I ever turned up at. And I went with one cooler thinking, gosh, I hope I sell 10 cakes. And I sold out in like 2 hours. And the next week I came back with 2 coolers and I sold out. And the next week I came back with 3 coolers. And it's just kind of spiraled from there. I didn't really have a plan, and it just kind of just went and went and went. So it's great. I love it.
It sounds so like natural and organic, you know, like it just kind of.
Yeah, it was really nice. And the people that I've met have been so amazing. And yeah, it's been really nice, especially kind of coming from the pandemic. It's been a really nice change.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about like where you're from. It sounds like you have a little bit of an accent, right?
I do. I'm originally from England. I've been here 22 years.
Wow.
I moved here in May 2001. I worked for an English designer called Lulu Guinness, and I came over to set up her stores. She had a store on Bleecker Street, so I came to set that up. And then the 9/11 happened right like the weekend before we opened. Sorry, the weekend we opened. We opened on the 9th, and then it happened. But I stayed, and then I met my husband. I did go home for a little bit, and then I came back. And then I worked primarily in fashion. I worked for Cynthia Rowley, and then I worked for Lucy Sykes, and I got into children's design. And from there, I got into more layette design. I worked for Baby Togs for a while. And then for the last 10 years, I was freelance working from home when I had my son.
So nice. So you have that like artistic background of design, and your cakes are so intricate. Like it's not just a cake, like even the way you design it, does it come from your background, I'm assuming?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my degree is actually in ceramics and glass. So I definitely have I feel very connected to that with my cakes, because I glaze them rather than use buttercream. Like I like to use edible flowers. I use like herbs. Yeah, they're definitely very. I love making them look pretty.
They are so pretty. It's like I was telling my mom before we hopped on that I found you at the Piermont Market and Farmers Market, and I ate the cake and I couldn't believe like I ate it, and then my sister was like, "Oh, did you know that there was like zucchini in there?" And I was like, "No, not at all." Like, what inspired you? I know you mentioned the garden, but how did you come up with these recipes to incorporate vegetables? I know like I could use some help with my daughter.
Well, my whole family really kind of have cooked like that. You know, my mom has always grown a massive garden. My granny always had a garden. My granny is she just passed away this year. She lived to 102. But she always like ate really well. Like I've always been brought up with good food. Like that's been a real priority in our family. So I always say to people, because some people have a really funny thing if they're gluten-free or vegan, and I'm like, I didn't intend them to be gluten-free or vegan. They just happen to be. They're just good food. It's clean ingredients. It's not, I don't put anything weird in there. It's just really good, clean food, which is really, I'm kind of passionate about that. I'm passionate about knowing where our food comes from, knowing what we're eating. You know, it's really important.
Yeah, my mom's been on a clean eating.
I love to eat clean, and vegetables is the way to go. So do you use all your ingredients from your husband's garden?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Wow. So
I know, and we grow a lot of flowers now. I didn't realize how many flowers we already had in the garden that are edible, and now we grow a lot. Together, like we'll come up with what we're going to plant for the season and around the cakes.
That's so
wow,
cool.
yeah, that
Has
is
this turned into like a full-time thing for you where you're pretty
Yes. Oh,
busy? Like
absolutely.
you're
I'm now, yeah. It really turned full time really last year. Now I'm completely full time. Yeah.
wow. And
and
Yeah.
are go
what
ahead.
I'm sorry. So what do you do with the like the winter and stuff with being able to grow your vegetables?
So we harvest a lot. I like my butternut squash. We harvest it and I have it all in the basement, so I can use that. That usually lasts me all the way through until March.
Wow.
And then a lot of my like fruits and some of the vegetables, we have a huge industrial freezer in our basement, so I usually like harvest everything, so the summer's really busy, and then we freeze a lot of things so I can use them throughout the winter. Yeah,
So
but I love using them fresh. Like
amazing.
that's my
It's
that's
so
my
cool that it's like from your home, it's
Yeah.
not like you're getting it from a distributor or
yeah.
that's really, really interesting.
Yeah.
And sometimes if I run out, like sometimes I'll get short of things, so I have everyone at the farmers market that has
Oh, right.
a lot of the things, so
Well,
it's
they're
great. I have
growing
everything. Yeah, it's such a great community. The farmers market, that's the other thing that was really lovely, is the farmers market are such a good community. They're like a little family. I only actually do 3 markets now because I did a lot last year to kind of see where I should be, because everything was so new, but now I just do 3 markets and I love them. I love all the people at them. I love the people all the different vendors. It's just such a nice community.
What 3 markets are you at?
So I'm at the Tash Market, which is in Tarrytown, and that goes all year. It goes indoors through the winter, so I'll be there every other week, starting January. And then I do the Bronxville Farmers Market, which only is in the summer. It starts from May and ends Thanksgiving. And then I do Piermont Farmers Market, which was the first one I started with, and it's the one that I want to keep going all the way through because it's just 5 minutes from my house, and it's all a lot of local people. My cakes don't travel that well. Like I don't ship anything. Everything's pickup only. So it's really important for me to build a good community of people around me.
So if somebody wanted to like order a cake or something, it's pretty much local, right? They would either find you at one of these markets or they could pick up at your house or
Yeah.
is it
Yeah.
at your home that you pick them up?
Yeah, just at my home. You just pick it up. I have a very active cooler on my front porch. And it's really nice. Yeah, people just come by and
So
pick up.
sweet. That's like a true like community feel. And
Yeah.
I love that it's your own grown stuff, it's not this processed like
Yeah.
it almost seems like it's healthy. Like do
Yeah.
you use sugar
I
and
really try and use a lot of like products, like even for my teas. I infuse a lot of teas into some of my cakes. So I get those from Maru, who's Food is Med at the Piermont Farmers Market. He does a lot of tinctures and teas, and all of his stuff is organic. I really try and put good, like all of my cakes have good ingredients. Like everything I use is organic. This Thanksgiving, I just started doing pies, which I'd never done before. I did a pecan and a pumpkin pie. We used our pumpkins, and then the pecans I got from Nelson's Food. They do all the nuts and at the Piermont Farmers Market. And then I use organic maple syrup and organic coconut milk. Now I can't grow those, but I try and keep everything as good and organic and as good for you. And the pies were all vegan, gluten-free, and refined sugar-free, and delicious.
I was going to say,
Wow.
that was my next question. Do you use sugar?
I do use sugar in some of the cakes. I use organic unprocessed cane sugar in the actual cake. But the icing, I do use powdered sugar for the icing to get the glaze. It's really hard to use organic because it makes it a little bit brown.
Right.
Yeah.
So I do use that, but it's a small amount. And my granny always said everything in moderation.
Yeah.
That's it, right? That's the trick. Do you like any special, like outside of the cakes that you make? I know on your website I saw you have like a solid, what, like 10 different flavors or around there.
Yeah, I have like 10 different flavors that you can buy pretty much all year round, and then I have probably another 10 which are just seasonal. So I take those off my website when I can't make them.
Okay.
Like I do a pear and peony, and I use my own peonies that I dry, and I use them in the cake as well as on the cake. I do, for the winter, I'm just about to bring back my white forest, which is a chocolate cake with a white chocolate peppermint cream icing.
Oh, I
So
have to
good.
try that.
And then I do a Christmas cake, which I can't use alcohol in my cakes because I'm a home processor. So I actually infuse rooibos tea with the fruits to make it like a fruit cake.
Oh, nice.
So it's really fun. I kind of get very creative in the kitchen, and I'm not such a a lot of bakers really follow the recipes and they're very strict. I'm a little bit more like, I'll do a bit here and a bit there, and it's hard. I think that's why I can't really have anyone bake with me, because I do it all from my head. A lot of
Yeah.
it.
So you run this whole show alone, pretty much alone, with the help of your husband in the garden.
Yeah. I do now have someone that helps me on a Friday to box and get everything ready for the market, because that's quite a long task. The one lovely thing with my cakes is that the almond flour cakes, which are my gluten-free ones, they're just clean almond flour, olive oil. Some of them are made with maple syrup, some of them are made with the cane sugar. But they are actually better after a few days.
Really?
So I usually make those on a Wednesday, and they sit, and then I everything on a Friday, and then take it to market for the weekend. But yeah, they stay, like with the olive oil and the almond flour, the flavors really get better. Yeah.
And now, is it you at the market? Like, if I came, am I going to meet you, or do you have other people
No,
doing
it's me.
No, it's you. You're doing it all.
Yeah. I know. I love doing it though. I love seeing all my regulars. I love, I've made such good friendships through the market, which is another great thing. I was a freelance designer for 10 years from home, so I was very on my own with the kids.
Yeah.
And so this has been like another, I love it. When I go to the market the weekend, it's like my social time.
So sweet.
Nice.
Yeah.
So do you customize any cakes? Like, let's say I was hosting a party or a wedding or a birthday. Do you make stuff special for that, or do you stick to your?
No. I can do it. I can do special things. I've done like different private orders for people. I've done a couple of weddings. I like to do small weddings because they're a little bit, a lot of pressure. Like I do like a big cake, but I do a lot of baby showers. I do birthdays. I've done a few book launches. But yeah, I do lots of different things.
That's good to know.
Really
Good
nice.
to know.
And if somebody was watching, they wanted to find you, is the best way to reach you email or social media?
Yeah, you can go onto my website, and you can go straight through to me there. You can email me, charlotteshomekitchen@gmail.com, and I usually get straight back to you. My daughter's now, she's asking to come and do some markets, so she might come and help at a few markets. But yeah, as I say, I love doing it. I love the whole process, from like creating the cakes to then like seeing who buys it. It's very personal. I feel like I'm like creating edible art.
It really looks that way.
It's
you have to stop by.
Yeah, well, so the farmers market in Piermont's every weekend, right?
Yeah, every Sunday. I'm usually there every Sunday up until Christmas.
Okay.
Then I'm a little bit more. I don't really do a lot of the markets in January, February. I do definitely the Valentine's market, because one of my first cakes, I only started with 3 cakes when I first started, and now I think I have just about 20 different flavors.
Wow.
But my first cake, the first 3 cakes I ever made was my love cake, which is still the most popular. It's a pistachio, lemon, rose, and raspberry cake. It's almond flour and olive oil, so it's gluten-free and dairy-free. It's delicious. And so that is a real popular cake for Valentine's. And then I did my chocolate cake, which is the zucchini chocolate cake. And then I did a lemon cake. But yeah. And now I've got like so many different flavors, but they're all kind of based on the same like
You
you know,
tweak them a little bit here and
Yeah.
there.
yeah,
Mhm.
and I just add a few different flavors.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's,
it's been so fun.
that's I think that's the nicest part of the whole thing is that you just really love it and enjoy it, you know?
Do yeah, I do. It definitely gives me a lot of joy. I think that's the best word.
Wow.
Then I'm just doing, which I'm very excited about. I just perfected my mince pies, which is an English Christmas tradition to eat. So I've done those. I've managed to do them vegan and gluten-free and refined sugar-free.
Wow.
Wow.
They're very cute. I'm going to be launching those later this week. And I'm also be doing the pies are really, I never really thought to do pies, but I started doing them this year, and I'm going to be doing some more for Christmas. So I'm doing a cranberry and cherry and then a chocolate.
Nice.
I'm gonna have to order
Yeah.
one, and we're gonna stop by this Sunday.
Yeah, we're gonna
'cause
come by
I'm
this.
thinking about that chocolate
I
cake.
know, and I had a lot. I like to use a lot of fresh flowers from the garden, especially in the summer, and in the winter I kind of I do use a few dried flowers. But I've now met this lovely girl. She lives like 15 minutes from me. She has a beautiful flower kind of very small farm in her garden. So we've now connected, and we're doing the Palisades holiday market together on the 9th of December. So that'll be really fun. So I really loved going into using the dried flowers with my cakes now, and they're all edible too.
I would never even know that there was
Yeah.
flowers in cakes,
I
right?
know.
It's
Yeah.
interesting.
I'll have to stop by. I live in Palisades, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna definitely stop by the market. But
Mhm.
Charlotte,
Yeah.
thank you so much for your time today. I hope that the people watching get to really go and try your cake because
Yeah.
it is absolutely delicious.
Oh,
And
thank
once
you.
again, thanks so much for your time, and we'll drop all your information so people could reach out to you.
Oh,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much for having me on. It's been really nice.